Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how's it going?
Hey, super. How are you?
Fabulous. Can't believe we're already on a Tuesday. It's the 21st?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
This month will be done. We'll blink, it'll be gone.
It's a short month, though, right? Wait, no, it's 31.
No.
31 days. It's just a short month this year. Hey, some doctors believe that if you want kids to develop healthy immune systems, they need to be exposed to germs, pet hair, peanut butter, and intestinal worms before they turn 3.
I agree completely.
I think that
I don't know about the intestinal worms, but the rest of it I agree with.
You want to pet the worm? Oh, look at that cute little worm. I don't exactly know what they mean by being exposed to.
I don't know what that means either.
But I can tell you, when I was a kid, we were outside playing in the dirt all the time, and we were never sick.
I was never sick.
You know, we were outside, breathing in that outside air.
And I can tell you, in all honesty, there wasn't, in all the years I was in school, there wasn't a single child that had a peanut allergy.
I know. It's kind of a new thing. Doctors are saying get those kids exposed to things when they're young. Coming up, we're going to expose you to a story about an Australian motorist. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month, plus a few bucks shipping. So you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
An Australian motorist was convicted of assaulting an officer of the law with his breath. Huh? Driver Jeff Pierce admitted in court that when he noticed he was being pulled over by a police officer, he admittedly chewed a clove of garlic so his breath would be stinky.
Oh, really?
He says that his best friend told him his best friend told him it was a good way to get the police to leave you alone. So if they come up there and you stink, they walk away. Well, that's not really how it works.
And that's ridiculous.
So he's being
charged with assault because he had bad breath. Are you kidding?
Deadly breath weapon.
That is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
I understand the police officer saying, hey, you know what? We need to set a precedent here because if people think I can just chew on this garlic and the cops are going to leave you alone, that's not good either. So,
well, who thinks that? Would you think that if you had bad breath, the cop wouldn't bother you?
No. If that were the case, I'd never get pulled over. I'd be like, oh, that's that stinky bag. All right, coming up, what would you do if you find a $1,000 bill? We'll tell you what to do coming up.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know this is true, Heidi, because you're going to hear it on the radio.
All right.
If you find a $1,000 bill, should you put it in the bank? No, you should not. Officials of the American Savings Bank in Munster, Indiana, say a woman deposited 2 crisp $1,000 bills. Bank president Michael Mellon says they called the customer to have her take the bills back, not because they were fake, but because they're worth way more than $1,000.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah, a rare coin dealer says the bills could be worth up to $4,500 each.
Well, that was really nice of them to let her know, because they could have just...
$1,000 bills were issued, these were, in 1934. They've been out of circulation for decades. The woman said she got the bills from a relative a few years ago. Now, I can tell you, our son is a numismatic young man, and that means he collects coins and money and whatnot. He would have loved to have had a $1,000 bill.
Oh, my goodness. Can you imagine if he could have gotten his hands on a $1,000 bill?
First of all, I don't even have the face value to get it for him.
No.
He was collecting coins. He started, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
And I remember one summer we were paying him to mow the lawn. And I said, I'm going to pay him with, different coins. So I'd go out and find coins at, antique stores and stuff. Do you remember how nice our lawn was that year?
Oh, my gosh. He was mowing like 3 all days the time.
A week. I'd come home, he's like, I mowed the lawn again. I'm like, you what?
You mowed it yesterday.
Would you quit mowing the lawn? But it was really cool to see how interested he got in coins because of that. And a $1,000 bill, I've never seen one personally, ever. I've seen them in a book that he has. A $500 bill I've never seen either, but I've seen those in a book. But they do exist. If you get one, you don't put it in the bank, unless, of course, you're putting it in their safety deposit box. But it's worth more than face value. If you get anything over $100 bill, it's worth more than face value.
That was really awesome of that bank. It's really nice to know that you've got a bank that cares about your best
Wouldn't that be awesome?
interests. Wouldn't that be great to have a bank that puts their clients before everything else
that would
all
be
the
awesome.
time? That would be wonderful.
I'd like a bank
I'd like a bank
that.
like that.
All right, moving on. Thank you so much for listening. You know that's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. I got a fly buzzing over here. He keeps landing on my script, and I can't read what I'm trying to read. A man is
and
blaming...
that's different from every other day.
Every other day, it's not the fly. It's usually just me. A man blames his gambling problem on prescription medication, but it's not even prescribed to him. A former Wall Street banker said he lost $3 million from compulsive gambling. He's blaming prescription medication Mirapex, popular drug to treat Parkinson's. Randolph Simmons is suing a German drug maker. I'm not even going to try to read all those names, claiming that when he took the drug from 2002 to 2007, he developed an insatiable appetite for gambling. A rep said the company had not made it since 2005, when medical studies first linked the drug to compulsive behaviors, including gambling, so he must be using the drug illegally. They're saying, wait a minute, you've been using this until 2007. We quit making it 2 years before that. So
I wonder
anyway.
where he got it.
I don't know.
And why would you be taking... I mean, if you have Parkinson's, you should be seeing a professional that is giving you...
I don't know what they... Anyway, he was trying to blame his gambling on that. So I'm not sure how that works. But this is your brain on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Have you ever heard somebody say, it's not rocket science? And that usually means that, this isn't tough stuff. Well, a group of rocket scientists got lost in their own neighborhood.
What?
A couple of students from Caltech, 24 students, they were headed up to a thing called Mount Wilson Toll Road. This was for like a little, not hazing, but like as they're introducing them to the school, they do these little trips and whatnot.
Right.
For those of you that don't know Caltech, they've won 32 Nobel Prizes. They work with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. This really is rocket science. So a group of rocket scientists in the making, they went up on this hike to the top of a hill, and they got stranded, and they couldn't find their way down. So at 3 a.m., the police had to come to help them. The rescuers showed up, and this is where it gets really fun. The rescuer said the students did not have flashlights or warm clothes or other important supplies, and he says going up the trail in the middle of the night without any safety equipment, it's pretty stupid. It's not rocket science. I think he said that just to be a wise guy.
No.
And he said, did I mention the soon-to-be scientists were also wearing Superman capes, tutus, and other odd attire as part of the stunt. So they were lost. Can you imagine the officers showing up on the scene? A group of soon-to-be rocket scientists wearing tutus and Superman capes. Lost about a half a mile from their
First of all, when you think
place.
of people that do that for a living, is the first thing that you think of an outdoorsy, camping, rugged type? So they probably wouldn't have had the first clue of what to do.
The officer says, you've got to remember that common sense is not factored into the intelligence quotient.
It is not at all.
So
there are a lot of people that are very, very smart.
Are you pointing at me for a reason?
That do not have any common sense.
Why are you pointing at me? I have some common sense. All right. I do also have your scoop of the day. That's on the way. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday.
The scoop of the day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now, your scoop of the day. General Mills will be removing artificial color and flavoring from their cereal products, saying that they hope to have artificial ingredients out of 75% of their cereal lineup by January of next year. I'm predicting sales of General Mills products
are going to plummet
down. If they don't taste good and they don't look good,
right?
You don't think you're going to do too good. A Polish cow on the run for 2 years has finally been caught. Officials say the cow escaped from her Polish farm 2 years ago and lived a life on the lam in a nearby forest. She survived for 2 frigid winters on her own, but the time on the run has taken its toll. She lost a calf and returned home with many scars. Farmers in the area complained of the damage that's been caused, but nobody was able to catch her until last Saturday. So this cow had quite the will to survive. Lance Armstrong took to social media to insinuate that there's cheating at this year's Tour de France. So there you go. Pot, meet kettle.
Yeah, I was just going to say, isn't that what he was?
But I think what he's trying to do is say, you know what, you guys were making a big deal of it when I was taking this, and now they're taking it, and you're not doing it.
I haven't done a thing.
Yeah, so it's what he was taking. It's not like, I'm going to just get off that. Scientists say spouses share a surprising amount of DNA.
Really?
That's why you look so familiar. According to a new study, having power at the workplace makes people actually think they're taller. So the study says if you have like a management position, you actually act as though you're a few inches taller than you really are. That's kind of cool. You know, coffee can damage your liver? I didn't know that. Jennifer Zarshan, ND, at the Wellness Research Coordinator at Long Island College Hospital of Brooklyn, her business card has to be huge, explains that caffeine is broken down by the liver through the use of enzymes. The more of these enzymes that are involved in breaking down caffeine, the less available they are for other things, like breaking down other things that happen to be in your bloodstream. Excessive caffeine use, therefore, causes the liver to work less effectively and efficiently at detoxifying the body. While 1 or 2 cups a day seems normal, anything above that amount could be extremely excessive. So they're saying if you're drinking a lot of coffee, you're supposed to take the coffee out of it and just drink water. There you go. The Word of God is under attack in Columbia Heights, Montana, literally. Christian Post, a billboard there has been dedicated to display the 10 Commandments, and it's been the victim of recent sprees of vandalism. 17 of the 21 billboards at the God's 10 Commandments Park were seriously damaged by an unknown party earlier. It was about a week ago. So why would you do that? That is good versus evil right there. Same researchers
that should have added, "Thou shalt not spray paint billboards."
There you go. That's the 11th commandment. The same researchers that discovered men do poorly on tests after interacting with a woman have also discovered that men have trouble with completing tasks after just hearing a woman's name. Researchers believe that mental energy involved in thinking sexy thoughts slows down other parts of the brain. Really? We needed a study for that?
I would have never guessed that.
Well, I think that might be a little excessive.
It might be a little more common sense for a man, I suppose. I didn't know that you boys had problems concentrating on anything, even if you just heard a female name. That's ridiculous.
Heidi.
Yeah, right.
What was I going to say again?
But that's just ridiculous.
It is. Well.
Is that true?
Apparently, that's what the study said.
Well, okay.
Who am I to deny it? Rapper Mini Thin, first of all, I've never heard of this. Mini Thin recently used a West Virginia courtroom to film a music video. The county commissioner, Jeff Davis, is not happy, and he wants his fellow commissioners to adopt a rule to ensure that this never happens again. They don't want to be able to rent out a courtroom to record videos. So that takes me to our strange law, because that eventually someday will be a strange law. You can't record rap videos in their courtroom. But our strange law today to end things. In Texas, the entire Encyclopedia Britannica is banned. You know why?
Why?
You can find the formula to make beer in there.
Oh, good Lord.
So that makes it illegal in the state of Texas to have an Encyclopedia Britannica. Huh. There you go. This has been your Strange Law, and this has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday. Time right now for my favorite feature of the entire week. We pick up the phone and call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing fantastic, by the way.
Good. Always fun to talk with you. I've got a couple of good questions for you, but before we get to those, what are we going to learn about this week, Charlie?
Got a lot of little stuff here, but we'll jump right into it.
Okay.
Standard 747 jumbo jet.
Yeah.
How many seats?
747.
No.
Oh.
132.
420.
Oh, wow.
I was way off.
I was way off.
Glad to hear somebody else can't answer a question right.
We'll get you back later.
And then did you know that people with blue eyes are better able to see in the dark?
Oh, hey, I have blue eyes.
So you can probably see pretty good in the dark.
I have blue eyes as well, but I don't know. I guess I couldn't compare it to somebody without blue eyes.
I can see really well in the dark when I have a flashlight.
You go to McDonald's?
Been there before?
You like the Egg McMuffin?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
I do.
Who invented it? What was the guy's name?
I'm going to say it was Mike Fitz.
Close. Ed Peterson.
Ed Peterson?
Yeah.
I don't know how I was close, other than the fact that I gave you a first and last name.
Oh, that was close.
I tried.
Hey, 85% of us will eat Spam this year.
I am in the
not
15.
amongst that number at all.
I'm in that 15%, Charlie. I've never, ever, ever had Spam in my entire life.
You've never even tasted it?
Never tried. I told Heidi to get some. I said I'd like to try that, and she never gets it for me.
No. I've tasted only because you used to sneak it in meatloaf and stuff because you're disgusting that way.
What's wrong with you? Buy him some Spam and fry it up.
Exactly.
I want a full report next week.
I've been saying that for almost 16 years.
He's got a car. He can go and buy himself some Spam if he wants it.
One of these days, I'll do it, too.
Make sure you fry it so it's better fried.
Okay, I'll do that.
I want to know next week.
I'll give you a full report.
Hey, then did you know that male monkeys lose their hair on their heads in the same way that men do?
I've seen monkeys that are balding on the top. I have seen that before.
I've seen some of them balding in the other spot, too.
Oh, on the bottom?
Yeah. Hey, here's something. Given the opportunity, deer will chew gum and marijuana.
Deer will?
Really?
Well, who's going to give them some gum?
I'd like to see a deer chewing gum.
And what do they like, juicy fruit?
Hubba Bubba.
I think that might make me happy. Don't give them Hubba Bubba. Be responsible for watching a deer choke to death. That would be awful.
They're probably a little better at it than you are.
Yeah.
Better at chewing gum than me.
She's not very good. She can only chew a half a stick at Trident.
I have a very sensitive gag reflex.
This next one is just, in case you care, February is the mating month for the blue whale.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a short month.
Why are we talking about that in July?
Well, it was leap year, wasn't it? Give them an extra day.
Works for me.
Hey, then I got one last thing here for you.
All right, what's that?
I know this isn't true because I can't do it. The human bladder can hold 13 ounces of liquid.
I think that's true.
Well,
I think you can.
Don't hold it very long.
I think you can hold a little more than that, depending on the person.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, John definitely can. It's ridiculous.
I'm like a camel.
You look like a camel.
I know. I got a lot of lumps like a camel. Well, Charlie, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You know who Elvis Presley is, right?
Yes, I do.
How much did he weigh at the time of his death?
I'm going to say 248.
Wow, you're really close.
Very close.
230 pounds.
That doesn't really. That's not that much. He looked a lot heavier than that, didn't he?
But I think he was a smaller guy.
Must have been that onesie pantsuit he was wearing. It wasn't all that flattering.
Yeah,
Can you imagine what you would look like in one of those?
You should give me one of those. Who's that moron? That's my husband. Who dresses him? And I got one other question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the artist Vincent van Gogh?
Yep.
He's a pretty popular artist. Very expensive paintings these days are millions and millions of dollars. How many paintings did he sell during his lifetime? The answer will surprise everyone.
3.
No, he sold one. Only one. You were real close. Most people would probably answer, hundreds, because it seems like there's a bunch of Van Gogh paintings out there. He only sold one painting during his entire lifetime.
I think I've read that somewhere.
Well, you should have known it then.
Well, if it was over 10 minutes ago, 3's pretty good.
Well, if you've got a good question that you would like us to ask Charlie, send your question to us, Charlie at johnandheidishow.com, and we'll gladly ask Charlie next week. And I'll give you my spam report next week, Charlie.
Yes, you will.
And I'm going to make sure our kids eat it, too, and I'll tell you what they think of it.
I'm not going to eat it. I can tell you that right now.
Well, we'll talk to you then, and thank you so much, Charlie.
Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there. We talk to him every Tuesday just because we can with a little program we like to call Tuesdays with Charlie.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Today is a very special day. You know what day it is today, Heidi?
What is today, John?
Today is Tuesday, the 21st day of July, which makes it kind of confusing. Legal drinking age day. Wasn't that yesterday, too?
That was yesterday. But you know what? You can't have too many of those.
I'll bet today really is, though, because it's the 21st and 21.
That makes more sense, yeah.
And no pet store puppies day is today again as well. So I think yesterday I got too many days.
That must have been a mistake.
But I do know this one's a new one here. National Tug of War Tournament Day. So they apparently have a big tug of war going on somewhere today. So that's kind of interesting. Get out there and celebrate playing tug-of-war while you're drinking with your puppies, apparently. But not if you got those puppies from a pet store. Then they can't play tug-of-war. So it would be kind of fun to watch puppies play tug-of-war, wouldn't it? We've got 2.
Okay.
You just get a rope and put a thing on each end and just play tug-of-war with puppies. That would be kind of fun. Maybe today could be National Puppy Tug-of-War Day.
I think your idea of fun and my idea of fun are two very different things.
I'm not saying like fun, like, hey, everybody, come over to my house Friday night. Guess what we're going to do? Not that kind of fun.
We're going to watch our dogs play tug-of-war.
But I'm saying it'd be kind of fun to watch. All right, today is a special day. Get out there and celebrate on this Tuesday, the 21st day of July.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Join in the junk mail campaign. There's a guy that has taken to the internet with an interesting idea. The post office is not making a ton of money right now because people are using email instead of sending handwritten letters and greeting cards. I, for one, got to say, it's nice to get a handwritten thank you note. It's nice to get a little card with handwriting on it. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
So do that. Do those things. But this guy has a different idea. He's got an idea on how you can maybe trim your junk mail and help the post office all at the same time. What he's encouraging people to do, when you get an envelope that has a prepaid envelope inside of it, you get a thing, maybe it's a credit card offer, maybe it's a second mortgage offer, whatever it is. When you get one of those things, you're supposed to take some of your other junk mail. This sounds so devious. Take some of your other junk mail, stuff it in there, and then mail it back to them. Not with a filled out request for that credit card. Just mail it to them. So that way they get to pay for the second trip for that same envelope to go the other direction. I don't know if this is a good idea. Have you done this before?
I have.
Because you got a smirk over there like you've done this.
I have done it before, but not sticking other junk mail in it. I would just simply fold up the thing that they sent me and write on there, please remove me from your mailing list, and stick it back in and send it back to them. So they had to pay for me to request. And I never did get removed.
I was going to say, I don't think the guy opening those envelopes is probably the guy that takes you.
But you know what? At least then they're paying for the inconvenience on my part.
That's this guy's idea. The guy online, I can't find his name in here. It's in here somewhere, I'm sure. But his idea was, I really don't recommend sticking your other junk mail in there and sending it back to them because, first of all, your name and address is all over that stuff. And they'll, I would assume they can press charges against you because knock on the door from the postmaster.
That's not what was supposed to go back to them. So
would you please quit mailing out your junk? So there you go. I have a sister that is works for the postal department now. I have an uncle and a grandfather that were both postmasters at one point. So big fan of the postal department. They do a good job.
It's kind of a bloated name for that position, isn't it? Postmaster?
It is
such
kind
a
of,
very
it's almost like a superhero.
Superhero-ish.
Who's he? He's the postmaster.
Postmaster!
Anyway, hey, you can help out. Just return those prepaid envelopes, even if you just don't put anything in them. Or if you take the form and write, take me off the list. That's what this guy's idea is see if we can make that happen. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Men will reveal the secret to a happy marriage, but you might not like it. You ready for this, Heidi?
Sure.
The secret to a happy marriage for guys, if you want to know men, do whatever she says. I'm reading this here. Be sure to do it right away when she says. Forget about modern psychobabble about active listening and validation and all that. Just do what she wants. That's the official word from top psychologist John Gottman. His studies show the majority of marriages that work are those where the husband has mastered 2 really important words. Yes, dear. I would say that's a pretty accurate description of our marriage.
Say that, oddly enough,
it works
if
around
I'm happy,
here.
You're happy. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. Honestly, here's the other thing that I can tell you. Because,
I will say that there has to be give and take in a marriage.
Yes.
It can't always be one-sided because otherwise it won't work for long. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get whoever is giving all the time is going to get resentful, and it won't.
And that's
work.
The thing.
It may work short term to keep her happy, but if you're not happy, it's not going to work out.
And my biggest thing is in any situation, if somebody's always winning and somebody's always losing, that means somebody's always losing.
Yes,
they want to win too. So. Work it out. And you get to say, yes, dear, every once in a while, too. There are times that I say, I want to do this. And you're like, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, we're going to do that again. Whatever it is. This fictitious thing we're talking about. We haven't done it in so long. I forgot what are we talking about? All right. Thank you so much for listening. Got awkward in here really quick. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
Thank you so much for joining us on a Tuesday. Try to explain this one to an insurance company. Investigators say a man's rear end may have caused a fire at a gas station in Missouri. Experts think that there was enough energy built up when the driver slid from his seat that he sparked from his fingers.
Yeah. If you that's why they say don't get in and out of your car while you're filling up with gas. Because
David Heimers, a assistant fire chief in the town of Hannibal, Missouri, said a pickup truck driver had been sitting in the truck because it was cold. The spark probably came from him sliding across the street. It started the fuel pumps on fire when he touched them. Nobody was hurt, but 2 cars were burned. Static should be removed by touching the car's bodywork before picking up the pump. So when you get out of a car, just touch your vehicle first, and then you don't have a problem. Now, for me, I'm doing that to get the gas cap off and all that stuff, so you break the static that way.
But here's what, he was probably inside while it was fueling, and then when he got out, he just grabbed the pump to take it out.
So make sure you don't do that. All right, and don't use your cell phones there either. We've had those discussions before. Thank you so much for listening on a Tuesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1, plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
We are cruising right through the month of July. It's the 21st of July right now, kind of in the middle of the summer. I don't know what the official middle of the summer is, but we got to be somewhere in the middle right now. And as summer heats up, I've got some sunning tips for you, Heidi. You ready for these?
Sure.
If you want to be beautiful forever, or at least for longer, use sunscreen every day, rain or shine. Even if it's not sunny, if it's cloudy, still use sunscreen. Another one, don't skimp. The average size body requires at least a shot glass worth of sunscreen to achieve maximum coverage. That's a lot of sunscreen. How much do you use?
But if you're putting it all over your whole body, yeah. I mean, a shot glass really doesn't seem like that much. When you're thinking of your whole body.
I might need a tumbler one. Don't dig out the sunscreen from last year. The protection expires. So if you've got some left over from last year and that's what you're using, you're probably not even getting any protection anyway. When you're going to the beach or any other sun-drenched location, reapplying your sunscreen at least every 2 hours is crucial to staying protected. Immediately reapply if you've been swimming or if you're sweating profusely.
Yeah.
So if there's a lot of moisture involved, you need to have more sunscreen on hand. And number 5 on the list, double up on safety by using a 20% concentration of topical vitamin C under your sunscreen to boost the immune defense of your skin cells against UV damage. It'll also help you reduce the appearance of brown spots. So
it's bizarre that baby oil on the legs and sun in your hair was not on that list. That was kind of the standard when I was growing up.
I don't think that's the way to go. That's the way to go if you want the opposite of all this. There are many, many, many people that are paying that price right now.
Yes.
There are a lot of people that are our age, back when we were younger. I mean, not that we're old now, but back when we were younger, we did a lot of dumb stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And now we have a lot of people who are paying that price. So, kids, it's not too late for you. Wear some darn sunscreen, all right? There you go. Thanks for listening to Uncle John and Aunt Heidi right here on The John and Heidi Show.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Almost time to say goodbye, Heidi. But before we go, let's take a look at a couple of fun stories here. Officials in Flint, Michigan had to replace hundreds of manhole covers and grates that were stolen. Why would you steal a manhole cover?
I don't know.
Scrap metal. That's the answer. The Flint Journal newspaper said nearly 400 cast iron covers and grates have been stolen in the last few years. A cover can fetch $20 from a scrapyard, but it costs the city over $200 to replace.
Why would you? First of all, have you ever tried to lift one of those things?
They're heavy.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
And for just $20, why would you risk getting in trouble for $20?
Think about the danger that you're putting people in.
Yeah.
Somebody could drive into that thing. Officials in the neighboring Burton lost about 200 covers and grates over the last year.
Awful.
Yeah. Speaking of stealing things, a Bellevue, Illinois man who's been jailed several times for stealing women's socks, he's arrested again. James Dowdy was charged with a felony count of residential burglary after he entered a basement window and stole some socks.
Oh, stealing socks from people.
Yeah.
Like not from a store.
No,
that's
from people.
Weird.
His bail is set at $100,000. Dowdy was sentenced to prison in 2004, 1997, and 1994 for burglar-related charges to socks as well.
Oh,
his mother
weird.
says she wants the court to order her son to be committed to a mental health hospital.
Well,
She's like,
yeah.
Your Honor, my son is nuts. Can you guys please take him? I'm done with him. He's stealing people's socks. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And
that's where that second sock always goes.
Exactly. It is funny because I've had that so many times where I'll have a pair of socks. For the longest time,
they go in the washing machine as a pair and they come out as a single. It's bizarre.
I have never in the past noticed nearly as much because I used to have just white socks.
Right.
So if I had 100 socks, I don't think I had that many. If I had 20
now we started
socks,
buying you really cool freaking socks.
She started buying me these funky socks, and I'm like, I've got this one, but I don't have one that matches. So here's the thing I've learned. If you got funky socks, you can wear 2 different funky socks, and that's even funkier. So there you go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us on a Tuesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
And your bonus break is brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. You can learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio. When you get there, click on and check out all the other things. In addition to razors, check out my hair today, Heidi. Look at this.
Yeah, that's something else.
They sent me a little bottle of hair goop.
Yes,
For the last 3 weeks, I've been saying, I'm going to wear that one of these days. And I decided today's the day. If a bird landed on my head, I think they'd get stuck. This is pretty spiky stuff.
Yeah.
This is the hardest hair gel I've ever had in my entire life. I kind of feel like I'm wearing a helmet right now. That's pretty cool stuff. So if you're looking for some hair gel that's not going to get out of line, I'm only concerned about when it's time to rinse this stuff out later. I wonder if I can get it out. I might be stuck. This may be super glue. I'm not sure. If you'd like to know more, go check out dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Over here, not returning an overdue library book is costing a Denver man a lot more than just late fees. Thomas Pilar has been sentenced to 10 years in prison. You know why?
Why?
He was trying to sell hundreds of books and DVDs that he checked out from a Denver area public library. Prosecutors say he's taken 1,400 books and movies. Only about a third have ever been recovered. The borrowing bandit was also ordered to pay the library more than $53,000 in damages. Why would he think it's a good idea to steal them from the library?
Well, he probably thought, hey, this is easy. All I got to do is
and then
check them out. They're free.
Check out a book and then sell it to somebody. He didn't think he was going to get caught? Dumb
bizarre.
idea, Mr. Pilar. All right. I just don't understand. What's the biggest library fine you've ever gotten? Have you ever gotten a big fine?
I've never had a library fine.
Have you ever had a fine for like not returning a movie on time?
I think maybe $2.
I had a movie one time. This has been a long time ago. This is like 20 years ago. It was a VHS tape. I couldn't tell you what the tape was. But I rented a movie, completely forgot that I rented the movie. I mean, completely forgot. Because I got busy. I was working all the time. So I didn't have time to sit around watching movies. So anyway, I hadn't gone back to the rental place for a month and a half, 2 months. So it's been a couple of months. And this movie was sitting in my living room. Not even kidding. I get a knock at the door one day. And this guy said, "Are you John Small?" And I said, "Yeah." He's kind of a big burly dude, this guy was. I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you have a copy of such and such?" I was like, "What?" He said, "I'm here to pick up that movie." They sent the movie police after me. They seriously did. I had a movie. They apparently had tried to call.
They couldn't call. I was just going to say, why didn't they just call you?
They were calling my home phone. I was never home either.
Yeah.
So it's like, they didn't leave a message. They just kept calling. He's like, "Well, we've called numerous times. We haven't caught you. I decided I'd just stop by." I'm like, "Oh, wow. Yeah, let's take a look." Well, look at that. There it is here in the living room. That was nuts.
How much did you have to pay?
I think it was like $14 for late fees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I could have probably bought the movie for that.
Yeah, for sure.
But, the fees by the time paid for him to come pick it up and everything else, I think I just gave him $20 and told him thanks. So it was nuts. All right. And it was a dumb movie, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was.
Imagine that, you choosing a dumb movie.
I always do. I pick dumb movies, but I do it on purpose. Nobody else will rent
No,
these
you
little
don't
ugly
do it on
ducklings.
purpose. You choose it because you think, this looks good.
I get it because I'll rent a movie that I think looks interesting, and then half the time I'm halfway through it and I realize I was completely wrong. This is not even interesting. Kind of like this break. Sorry, guys. If you would like to know more about our sponsor, Dollar Shave Club, they are very interesting. DollarShaveClub.com/radio.